Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. You seem very negative. You've done so well. Looking at you, right? You got a nice home. You got money. You're comfortable. How do you think you've turned out with your life? Like if you had to have your life again, how do you think things turned out for you?
I think they've turned out well, mainly because of health issues. Health has been pretty good. Looks like I'm going to live for another 10, 20 years.
Sure.
So
10,
health
20
is good.
years.
I've got a house.
Very nice home.
I was even looking at, units overlooking the Brisbane River, for instance. They're about 2 million. Well, who wants to be on the 7th floor overlooking something? You've got all these guys in your car space and people, causing trouble on the floor ahead, on top of you or the one below you. It's so good having your own house.
So
this is much better than any unit right here.
Yeah. So, with your own self, looking at your own life.
Yeah.
Do you have regrets?
No, I haven't got any regrets. I think I've had a good life. It's been a great experience. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, very good life. I've had great jobs, fantastic job opportunities. Had jobs. I've been in positions where I've met very interesting people, very successful people, very rich people, very poor people. It's fantastic. I don't think people could. Most people would aspire to get that wealth of experience.
Sure.
Fantastic.
I
it's very interesting,
you
and flying around with the development bank, flying around all around Queensland.
Yeah.
That's fantastic,
So your own life, looking back on your own life, do you have regrets or not really?
No. I've done it extremely well.
Sure.
I beat all my expectations because when I was a kid, I never thought I'd get a job, let alone be so successful. I struggled,
I understand.
In fact, I went to church the other day and I saw you got to sign in. This lady says to me, "Oh, hello. Oh, that's who you are. Have you got a sister called so and so?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, I work with her in Isla West."
Oh, I see.
And I said, I said, "Who? What's your name?" And she's telling me her name. And I said, I've got to thank your husband a lot of things because when I came to Australia, I was pretty, bad, lacking education. Never had the opportunity in England because of circumstances. So I came here and they put me next to her husband, who was a whiz of the class, and I sat next to him and copied everything for a year.
Yeah.
And so I was second at the top of the class or third top.
Yeah.
And I learned. That was I know that people he calls it cheating. I call it learning. That was really a learning course. So everything I didn't know, I could see what he was doing, and the teacher was talking, and so I learned. And he was.
What grade was this in?
Grade 6.
Grade 6.
So I I'd failed all the exams in England. I was just into the factory fodder stream, and a low 1E of factory fodder.
But hang on a minute. Do you honestly believe that you would honestly stay there in that factory position there or not? Like, the thing is, right? Like I got a friend of mine, right? He's in England. He left school before he finished like grade 10. You can grab that if you like.
Yeah. Anyway.
So anyhow, with yourself there.
Yeah.
Just with yourself there. I was just saying to you, this Elon Musk, that's the guy who Tesla.
Yeah.
He was the richest man for a week, or couple. And he said that he doesn't look at people with degrees. He looks at people who are innovative. He says a degree doesn't mean you're good or bad. He says he looks more at how innovative you are.
Yeah.
And I mean, someone like you, right? Even if you say say you didn't get your degree, right? But say you were forced to do clerical work, or you're forced into a trade. Is that so bad, really, in Australia here?
Well, you know what the funny part is?
What's that?
Your sister
Yeah.
rang me the other day,
Yeah.
and I sent her some photos there
Yeah.
of my young days in
Sure.
Huddersfield when I left, when I was
Sure.
going on to 12. Now, the guy who's on stage with me playing the violin with me,
Sure.
he's 2 years younger than me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He married the sister of the girl that I liked.
Yeah.
He became an accountant.
Sure.
He used to teach the choir there like I taught up here.
Yeah.
So he virtually did the same thing.
Sure.
So he succeeded, and he played the violin very well.
Yeah. But what I'm
So I could have succeeded there too.
I mean,
given the right circumstances and being in the right place at the right time but it might have been more difficult. Besides, I sort of had a rocky start at the beginning.
Sure.
Didn't do very well in the bank, but I just hang on there and.
But who does do well in that position?
Yeah.
It's very tedious and boring, and it's not really.
No.
But the thing is, for you there, you kind of look at these people who've had huge adversities thrown at them. You know, I was mentioning to you that guy who he founded a lot of the casinos. He was a huge Trump supporter, actually. He gave a lot of money to Trump.
Mm.
And Sheldon, his name was Sheldon. And the funny thing is with him, he said that he started this business, right? He got into real estate. And he made the comment that nobody would lend him money.
Mm.
He was off the wrong. I think he was Jewish, right? They didn't like Jews from Eastern. He was a European background, right? So he had to be innovative to get around that.
Mm.
He said, "Well, I don't need your money. I'll do things a different way."
Mm. Mm.
Whereas that other guy, that Wally guy, the bank said to him, "I'm not going to lend you the money." So he just, "Oh, well, that's it. Stop. I can't. They're not going to lend me the money. That's it."
Yeah.
But this Sheldon guy, he didn't take no for an answer. He kept going.
That's a big difference. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's constant.
You can't give up. You got to keep fighting it and find a different way to achieve. And that's probably me. Like with being an accountant, I couldn't get an accounting job, but I got there in the end myself. A different way.
Well, that's exactly.
And that's, I suppose that's half the success in life is if you want to do something, decide what you want to do. If you can't do it the conventional way, we'll find an alternative way. Go a different way, a different path, and you'll get there. And then when you do get there,
his name was Sheldon Adelson.
Yeah. Right.
Adelson.
Yeah.
And he was a huge Trump supporter, very pro-Israel. He's actually, when he died, he got flown back to
Israel, did
he? He was very much he's a big philanthropist. He was, I mean, we're talking billions of dollars, or not, he was absolutely loaded there. And the reason he had a fortune of 3.5 billion. 33.5 billion. $33 billion.
He died.
Yeah, and as I was saying, that he was actually, I think he was Lithuanian Jewish. He was Lithuanian because they know no one would lend him money or anything, so he had to do things differently. Whereas, Wally didn't really. He just gave up and said, "That's it."
He gave up a lot of things, I suppose. He
you know
wanted to be a graphic art thing, and he gave up that. He just joined the army instead.
There was nothing wrong with the army, but
he liked your mother, but he didn't chase her, so he let me marry her.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. It's sort of sometimes in life these things. It's sort of everyone has different luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're different. They do. Yeah. There's a. I was reading.
Just out of interest, that car he's got's worth almost $1 million now.
Oh, that
if
car.
he still
Yeah.
had that.
And it's in mint condition probably too.
Yeah, well,
Because
that's exactly right. He had it in pieces, and that was a very special. But special. It's more luck.
Yeah, he bought it and kept it as a.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because somebody else mentioned they've seen that car, and they reckon it's only done 8,000, 10,000 kilometres or something, or miles,
Yes.
because it was in miles, and it's in mint condition.
Yeah.
But he's put it all, it's all silver and stuff like that. So.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's not as good as. But anyhow, I'm just telling you the story. I'm just telling you the story. The thing is, in your life itself, there, no regrets.
No regrets.
You had enough money.
Yeah. Well, how much money do you need? I suppose you never have enough because you can always spend more. But how much money do you need? And then there's a reading again. I'm reading on this Jewish lady, Jewish background lady. I wouldn't call her a Jewish lady. She's just an American, and she just worked in some job and just invested a bit of money. And anyway, when she died, she left 100 million or so because she just invested and it just kept on compounding and growing and investing, and it just of course the right investments, the right time and age, being there a long time, she ended up with a massive amount for a little lady that.
Wow, it's also it's luck and different things. You hear about these stories, but
yeah, it's not normal.
It's a hard thing, like you could say, people should say, oh, Bitcoin. Some people have made millions out of this Bitcoin rubbish, whereas
there's a company, and I don't exactly know what they do, but I thought I'd buy a few stock in them. Its code name is DCC.
Yeah.
And it does something with Bitcoin. It's the
see.
only AXX company that deals in Bitcoins.
I see.
On the Australian Stock Exchange. They've gone to 9 cents.
Yeah.
But I must research and see exactly what they do.
Yeah.
It went from 3 cents some time ago to now to 9. It's been as high as 12 cents.
Sure.
But if it's not managing Bitcoin but doing Bitcoins, it could go from 12 cents to $1,200, couldn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't.
There's some weird companies like that.
Yeah.
That Afterpay seems to have done that.
No, well, Afterpay did very well actually because it's.
But the product isn't even that fantastic.
No, I think if you're in Afterpay and you made the money, you get out now. Let me just stay in there. It's like a bank card type of facility, MasterCard, Visa card.
Exactly.
Except
It's basically for people who are broke. Use Afterpay, just because normally people have maxed out their card or it's.
But it's taken on, and I think with things like that, you make your money and get out.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. There, that's kind of how it is there for you.
Enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck.
Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 paid review. I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Paddocks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.